Hey everybody, I'm Jill Buck, T3 Stylist Ambassador, and I'm going to show you how I get effortless beach waves using the T3 Whirl Trio. Alright, so I prefer to start doing my curls on just my air-dried texture. I love the idea that I'm just using one heat tool at a time. So with just a little bit of a heat protectant, air-dried hair, brush through my natural wave that I have happening. And don't worry about setting a part of any kind until we've kind of established the overall look that you want happening with your favorite part that you wear, or even no part at all. I'm in a section just from my temple, through the back, and clip away. Okay, so the idea behind these waves is keeping it as natural and effortless as possible. So I really only like to do 2 sections, so I'm not overworking the curls and over trying to define what's happening with this look. For my particular texture and density, I like to use heat level number 3. I feel like it still gives me the quickness and the result that I want out of this curl along with the shine, and I never feel like it's too hot or damaging. The idea behind this wave is that it really just is here to move, right? We're not looking for a full finished curl on every single piece. We want movement, and we really want this to feel as effortless as possible. Starting in the front, I kind of grab a good amount of hair. I would say about a 2-inch section, regardless if your hair is fine or thicker. A 2-inch section is really gonna be a good universal sectioning for everyone. So the first one around the face is always gonna be directed back away from your face. I'll do 2 wraps, let it out, and then I'll finish through the ends. This gives me a result that isn't perfect down the strand, and I can really work through the hair quickly when I'm not concerned that the entire strand is fitting on my barrel. Grabbing my next section back behind my ear, a really good amount, 2-inch in density, and I really want to make sure I'm focusing on keeping my barrel in a vertical position. This is what's going to give me those long, soft waves versus horizontal, which is going to create more fullness and volume. Still wrapping this section away from the face. Drop it out and complete that finished piece. And leaving the ends out. We'll go back later and finish what's happening on our ends. All right, we'll continue through the back. Really only attempt to get the amount of hair with your length that fits on the barrel. Don't feel like you have to continue to keep wrapping your hair. It's going to make your result a little bit curlier than what we're going for today. As you'll notice as I'm wrapping, I'm attempting to not twist the hair before I put it onto the barrel. I'm going for a flat wave here where it doesn't have too much of a mermaid vibe. It's really just that soft, soft texture. The more you begin to twist the curl, the more of a tighter, additional wave pattern you're gonna get throughout the hair. Again, just a long vertical section here is keeping my curls long and beachy. Wrap until nothing else fits on the barrel, drop your section, and complete through the ends. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the other side. Now, I really only went to where I was comfortable with this hand position, and now I'm gonna switch to the other side. So whether you're right-handed or left-handed, it doesn't matter how far back you're taking that wave. Just continue working back away from your face, and then when you're comfortable, switch sides. Again, don't forget to keep the barrel in a vertical position even when you're going up and over your head. People tend to start dropping their shoulder or dropping their elbow, and the curl pattern starts changing, which can be really frustrating when you're doing this at home. Okay, so once you feel like you've completed through the back, we're still leaving the top pinned up. Real quickly, what I love to do is take my barrel and just smooth over those ends. You can see I'm not wearing a glove with this. Again, I do this every single day in the salon, so if I'm wearing a glove, it just feels more comfortable for you, by all means do that. But really what this is doing is I don't want to curl these ends. I really just want to seal everything on my ends. I want to seal down that cuticle and create the same shine that I'm getting from the barrel throughout the waves. I take them individually and smooth over. It's just sort of like a finishing technique that I use all the time, especially if you're in a situation where you're having photographs taken, anything like that. These quick little tips and tricks will really just seal your look. All right, so we're ready to drop down that second section. For me, I don't typically wear my hair on a perfect center part or a side part. I move my hair around a lot. I tuck behind my ears. So I'm really just gonna go off of my air-dried part. For you, if you like to wear a hard side part or a center part, this is where I would recommend establishing your part before you do your curls. Okay, so I'm still going to treat my fringe the same way that I would with the other curls, making sure that you keep this barrel vertical. Now, everyone's bang is gonna be a little bit different, but I like to really take a large section from farther back than what my actual bang is, so that I make sure that I'm really pushing this fringe forward for this particular style. This will also ensure that your shorter fringe pieces don't get too curled when you're incorporating it in a longer, bigger section. I'll set the heat in first, and then I will wrap, knowing that I won't get those shorter pieces in there, but at least I've given a little bit of a set right to the front to push forward. Again, on your shorter ones, you can take those and do that same technique, pushing that forward, and then giving yourself a little wrap, and we'll give a little kick. Now, because I want these bangs going back away from my face, I'm not really going to give too much of a curl to these shorter front pieces. If I do that, it's going to move the entire look forward, which I really want it swept away from my face. All right, so I'm taking a large section, at least 2 inches in diameter, because again, this is about creating texture, not full curls for this beachy look. Still working away from the face and only putting on the barrel what can fit, dropping that out, and then continuing my curl. This is going to ensure that I get an imperfect but a perfect beach curl. When I start working through the back area of my head through here, I like a little bit of lift. Not everybody does, but I like a little bit of messy, a little bit of undone, bedhead vibe happening through the back. Again, I will kind of, with my sectioning, just see where that hair is falling, and I want to make sure I grab that entire section for this curl. That's going to help all day that stay together and it not split through the back on me. All right, another great tip, you guys, is when you're working on your curls, don't forget to leave them. Let them cool as is. Your hair is just like wax, okay? So when it is hot, it is moldable, it moves, and once it cools, it is then sealed in the shape that you created. So do your best to not sit there and mess with the curl right after you've finished it. Okay, moving on to the other side where I felt comfortable. You can kind of feel the texture too, so you're not stressed about using a back mirror and doing all those things. We took a large section to cover this corner. Now I want to create that other corner with another large section so that it stays balanced and I still have fullness through the back. If you're really good, you could switch hands and you could wave this direction. I'm a pro and I don't even do that. Keep your tension nice and loose when you're working these waves and really just let it live once it's been heat styled. I don't know if anybody has experienced this at home where they feel like they're using a wand and it takes twice as long to do their hair. I actually feel like it helps you move through your hair so much quicker based on your sectioning, not based on your tool. So if you can get used to the idea of doing this in 2 sections, taking larger density as you curl, you're gonna be able to move through your style very quickly. Okay, and the last fringe piece in here, you can see how wide that section is. This is the biggest of all the sections that I'll do. Maybe more like a 3-inch section up through the top. Start setting your heat on the back side, really over directing and pushing that hair forward, and then wrap. Every now and then, this is where you can switch from vertical to horizontal just to really help emphasize the push of that fringe forward. I recommend going more horizontal with your barrel when your fringe is shorter. Longer fringe, you can still keep it vertical. Then I just split that same section in half. I'm not doing a full curl here, but I still want to over direct and push that hair forward and attempt not to mess with it. All right, last step is just finishing the ends of that section, giving that high gloss look. I do this front side and the back side, pushing and always directing the hair down. Not up and down, taking it, pushing it down, taking it away, pushing it down. Almost like a brush, like you're combing through your ends. Okay, so again, I am using a heat setting level 3. My hair has been lifted to a blonde in order to get this pink hue that I wear. So it's really important that you guys are selecting the correct setting based on what your texture can handle. Okay, you're gonna have a density of your hair, you're gonna have texture of your hair, and then you're gonna also have chemical and environmental things that are happening to your hair. So once you've assessed all of that, T3 is amazing at breaking down which heat setting is best for you. All right, so the biggest, most important tip once you've finished all your curls is let it cool. Walk away, go put your makeup on, go get dressed, go get your coffee. I actually don't even shake out my curls until I'm walking out the door. So I can't emphasize that enough. This is what's going to give you your structure and your hold all day long. All right, so I really don't use a brush much here, you guys. Every now and then, if I need to, a little bit. Or anyone who's wearing extensions, I highly recommend using a brush to brush through your extensions to get it more natural looking. But I prefer just using my fingers, really shaking out this entire look. And because of where we set that wave and how we set all of this motion forward, it's going to do it for you. You don't have to continue to keep working with that barrel. The single pass technology has been saving my hair and my clients' hair. It one time and we're done, right? I have set this hair forward, I let it cool properly, and now it's gonna be there all day for me. All right, guys, so those are my tips for perfect beachy waves.